What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Tim back with another live stream. Okay. And today is going to be one of those vintage live streams. Okay. Today, we're going to get back to our roots. Today, we're going to be talking about something that, like, I used to talk about a lot. I used to talk about a lot. Feel like I haven't really been hitting home, hammering down about it recently. We're going to get back to like figuring out what you want to do in life. Okay. We're going to talk about the fact that if you don't know what you want, you'll never get it. Or 99% of the time, you'll never get it. And this, I feel like, is one of the major areas where we as humans mess up. I feel like we struggle immensely in this area. I feel like so many of us don't really know what we want in this life and from this life. And I think when we do have an idea of kind of what we want, we immediately come with the negativity and tell ourselves we can't have it. So it's this combination of never figuring out what we really want, like what we really want to go after, what we really want to achieve. Not just an idea, but figuring out what we really want this life to be about. And then I think on the few occasions that something does break through, on the few occasions that we're like, you know what, I've always wanted to do that, we immediately go to the negative. We follow up with the buts. I really would like to do that, but blah, 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 blah. And then we erase it. But if we want a life that is filled with things that make us happy, things that make us joyful, happiness, joy, positivity, love, if we want a life filled with those things, it makes sense to identify what would bring us those things, what would bring us that life, and then go after it. It's totally logical. It makes perfect sense, but we don't do that. Real quick, we're going to jump in here, say some hellos, then we're going to get back to the topic. I see Angela already checking in. Corlivia, MP, how you doing? How you doing? Lucinda, School of Disciples. We're here. We're here. Genesis, how you doing? EB23. Hey, Alfonso, good to see you. Good to see you. Travis, checking in. Yes, so very important. I think it's very important to figure out what we really would like our life to be about, what direction we would like our life to go in. Like, what do we want? And the great thing is, like, there's no ceiling. There's no cap. Like, if you can imagine it, you can choose it. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of having like a crazy imagination and free will. I think there's a reason we have imagination and free will. I think there's a reason we have both. We could have one, not the other. We could have imagination, but could never go after it. We could have free will, but only we all thought the same things. But we have imagination and free will. And I think that's because I think the universe, I think God wants us to come up with these very interesting, unique, amazing lives and then act upon that. There's nobody that can tell you how small you have to dream. People try to, people will do that, but there's no one who can say you have to. They'll tell you you have to, but there's no one who can like make you can dream as big as you want. You can pick whatever you want. We can look around and be like, I want to be a seal farmer on Antarctica. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that probably was a bad example. I don't think they farm seals in Antarctica. I think they just go up there and do what they got to do, bring them back. Sadly, that was a bad example. But you know what I mean? There's nobody who can tell you what you can or can't do in this life. Now, part of the game is people will always try to, and they will try to influence you, and they will try to program you. Because the last thing most people want for you in this life is for us to figure out how powerful we are, is for us to figure out that we can dream big and then live big. So, left to our own devices in modern society, we're going to be like everybody else, and we're just going to see the problems. We're just going to see why we can't do certain things. Most people never sit down and be like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to go after. Most people never do that. And even if they do, soon after, someone usually, if they don't talk themselves out of it, if they don't talk themselves out of it, soon after, someone else will. But it starts with at least, I mean, hey, even if somebody down the line does talk us out of it, even if somewhere down the line we do give up hope, at least we can start with trying to figure out what we want. So many people, especially in times like these, so many people talking about how horrible life is, how horrible the world is, how bad it is. There's no hope. There's no optimism. You know what I mean? Like everybody, so many people, I shouldn't say everybody, but so many people are just down. And it's like, well, what what you want in life doesn't have to change with the times. Okay? The things you're trying to do, the things I'm trying to do, the things we're trying to do don't have to change based on the times. Could it make the execution a little harder? Yeah. Might we have to dig a little deeper? Yeah. But like what we're trying to do doesn't have to change because the economy changed. The person I'm trying to grow into, the goals I'm trying to achieve, don't got nothing to do with interest rates. They don't have anything to do with rent. You know what I mean? Even if there are some financial goals I have, it has nothing to do with the economy around me. I just have to figure out how to still get that financial goal in a bad economy. But it's the same goal. So it's like no matter what's happening. And I think in times like these, having something we're going after, striving towards, can be way more helpful because it gives us something to focus on instead of just being blown in the wind by whatever crisis or the news wants to talk about or whatever problem, the powers that be manufacture or whatever greedy thing that starts happening. If we got nothing to hold on to, anytime something like that happens, we're just going to be blown around. We're going to be worried about this. We're going to be worried about that. Oh, everything's going to be an issue. If we got something we're doing and that's our focus, you're like, I want this out of life, then it doesn't matter. We're affected by this stuff. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm still doing what I'm trying to do. Hey, we got a super chat. Thank you, Ken. Super chat squad. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Said, been needing this like a camel needs water after jogging in the desert. My tongue all dried up. Your message is always refreshing to hear. Thank you, thank you. That was I got a good visual of that. You got me thirsty. I'm gonna have to drink some water on that. That was a great visual, Ken. You got away with words. That was a great visual. I appreciate the love. Let me give you a like on that. Yes, it is very important, like Corlivia said, for us to do what makes us happy. And it's okay for us to say, I just want to do what makes me happy. Start there. Now, the negative self-talk will already be coming up. As soon as you say, I just want to do what makes me happy, the negativity is always like, but you gotta where you get. Nope. We can say, I just want to do what makes me happy. Then, if we can hold off the negative self-doubt talk, all right, what would make me happy? And that's when we really get to use that imagination. That's when we really just get to think about it and figure some things out, put some things down on paper. This is something I'm going to do again. I got away from this. I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to start writing it down. Okay. The good thing is the goals and stuff I wrote down before I still got, I think. Yeah, I think I still have that notebook. So I can go back and look at them. And I think that's the beauty of writing it down is it can keep us on track. Because, there's a lot going on in life. You might, Wednesday have a great idea of what you want to do with your life. By the time Friday roll around, you know what I mean? You forgot about it. Thursday was rough. You forgot about it. So taking the time to actually write it down. And it doesn't have to be like instantaneous. Like you don't have to figure out within the next hour what you want to do with your life. I think that's where writing it down helps too, because you can just jot down different ideas and then you go back over them, reread them, kind of work them out, hone them out. And then the beauty of it, and I've definitely seen this in my life, as well as talked to so many other people who have as well. You'll find sometimes you write something down and you may think about it or you might not really think about it. But then you go back and check your list and it's either happened or something popped up that you're like, ooh, if I take advantage of that, that might help me get to that, you know? Whereas if you hadn't written it down or you don't continue to think about it, the opportunity might pop up and you miss it just because you forgot that you that you said this is something you try to do. You know what I mean? So that's something I'm getting back into. I'm going to do that probably this evening or tomorrow morning. Get back into it. Write down. All right, give me like 10 things I'm trying to do. Maybe not even 10. 5 things I'm trying to do because I want them to be like special. You know what I mean? I want them to be big. Like if there's, I want to be bigger. I want them to be like things that I have to make definite decisions to go after these things. Because the thing is, if we don't know where we're heading, we don't know where we're heading. You know what I mean? It's just like a ship. If you put it out to sea and no one's guiding the ship, no one's steering like you don't know where you're going to end up. I think we do that a lot in life. It's just like we feel so powerless. We feel so powerless that we just kind of just go through the day, just kind of we do little stuff here and there, and we just hope it works out because little old me, I obviously can't figure out what happens to me in this life, but it's like we're the ones with the most control in our life. We're the ones with the most control in our own life. That just makes sense. People around us can do stuff to us, yes, but ultimately we have the most control in our lives. So if we decide we want to do something, we're the best person to execute that. And now I firmly believe the universe is abundant. I firmly believe that God, the universe, the source helps us out. And that's something else we got to remember is not we're not doing this alone. So we don't have to have all figured out how we're going to do it. We have help. But we have to pick what we want. You know what I mean? It's like God or the universe hands us a menu. Hands you a menu. Now you can have anything on the menu, but when the waiter comes around, you got to tell it what you want. You know what I mean? And I think it's that way. God, the universe, source. Hey, I'll help you get whatever you want in this life. I got your back. But you gotta tell it what you want. Like you, you know what I mean? The boat has a motor in it, but you gotta direct the boat where you want it to go. It's just like you know what I mean? You gotta pick something from the menu. I want this. Okay, let's work towards it. But if we just stare at the menu, the waiter come back and we just looking at the menu, we're not gonna get no food. Nothing's coming. You know what I mean? It's like we have to decide. We have to. We don't have to. I think it works out better when we figure out what we're trying to do. And here's the thing: you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have your grand life plan. A lot of times, it can be this. Just seems like something I want to do now. This right here. This seems like a direction I want to go in. Something's telling me I want to try this out and execute on that. And then that might lead to you being like, no, this isn't direction. Or you're like, yeah, this is working. Let me continue. But a lot of times we don't even let ourselves get to the first step. We don't even get to the first step because it's that negative self doubt, which is not our fault entirely, because we've been told our whole lives we can only be certain things. This is why society loves to label you, put you in boxes to tell you you can only do certain things. And as a human, we're social creatures. We pick up on societal cues. We believe what everybody tells us. Why wouldn't you? Until someone tells you not to believe what everyone says, or you find out for yourself, which takes a while, you just kind of believe what you hear. And our whole life, subliminally, a lot of it, subconsciously, a lot of it. But sometimes, even to our face, people have been saying, you can't do that. That's not reality. That's not the way the world works. And then, you look around and you see everybody else following that same advice. You just assume it's true. Okay, I guess I only have one or two paths in this life. Somebody who looks like me, someone who identifies like me, someone from the neighborhood I came from, someone with the financial levels I have. These are the only paths open to me. Because clearly those must be the only paths because everybody I know is following them same paths. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense, but it's not true. That's the problem. It seems like it makes perfect sense, but it's not true. And it doesn't make perfect sense because within that group, you'll notice 80% of the people are following the same. path as everyone else, 85, 90, but there's that 10, 15, possibly 20% who aren't. And we all know people like that. But we're so focused on that other form of logic that we say, oh, they're special. Oh, they're special. Obviously only a special 10% can do it. Us other 90% got to do this. And even when some of those people are like, no, I'm not special. I just decided I want to do it and I did it. You're like, nah, but that's just, you have extra willpower. It's like we always have an excuse. But like I said, it's not our fault. It's just, it seems like it makes sense. That's all we've ever seen. It's just one day. I feel like it takes us just being like, I'm not doing it. Like a lot of the kids now are saying, you got to be delulu. You got to be delusional. I firmly agree with that. You got to be delulu about you. Okay. I firmly agree with that. I did a video a while back said I'm a naive, delusional dreamer. I want you to be one too. I firmly believe that. If you living in this world, in this society, look at life logically, you're probably going to end up like everybody else. And if that's what you want to do, cool. But like, if you're willing to just be like, yeah, this may be a little crazy by conventional wisdom, but I just want to live the life I want to live, and it's not a big ask. That's the crazy thing. Most of us won't come up with like they'll be different and they'll be unique, but most of us won't come up with just the wildest, craziest stuff. We just kind of want to be happy, go after a couple goals and hobbies. You know what I mean? The average person just kind of just wants to spend time with the people they love, do the stuff they like to do. Like it's not, most of us won't be asking for crazy stuff. It's funny, the conventional wisdom seems like the people who now are asking for, the normal people, while very rarely achieving it, are the ones going after trying to be billionaires. I think about this sometimes. Like, one of us might say, hey, I want to do this over here, and it's different, but it's not all that crazy. And people are like, you could never do that. Yet, meanwhile, they're over here doing what everybody else does, but telling everybody they want to be a billionaire one day. You know what I mean? Like it once again shows like if you think like everybody else thinks, you can say or do whatever. Everybody thinks it's right. But even if you're not even, I just want to, be able to work part time and pay my bills so I can go to all my kids' baseball games. People are like, you can't work part time, pay your bill. You know what I mean? Like it's just interesting. If you just sit back and watch, it is interesting our thought patterns and just what's acceptable and what's not. But the good thing is, no one else has to get it. No one else has to accept it. No one else has to believe it. You just need to believe it. I just need to believe it. Because if I believe it and I'm willing to go after it, like who can tell me I'm crazy? It's my life. I'm a unique blend of environment, genetics, upbringing, DNA. Like no one else is me. No one else is you. So who could weigh in and be like, "Oh, that dream is crazy." Like you don't know me. No one knows me like me. No one knows you like you. Who could possibly tell you you can't do something? Who? They don't know you. They're not you. They don't have access to your mind. They don't have access to your free will. They don't have access to your courage, stamina, whatever it takes. How can someone tell you you can't do something? It's crazy. Why would we believe it? That's the fact that and it makes sense because of the programming and all that, but like, I wish I could go to an alternate dimension without all the programming and just see how it is. I just imagine just everybody's doing whatever they want to do. Everybody's just doing whatever they want to do. And they would not believe if you brought them over to our dimension. They would be like, what is going on here? Why is everybody doing the same thing and everybody's miserable? And we'd be like, well, that's all we can do. And they'd be like, no. They'd be like, no, it's not. Like, you do whatever you want. We'd be like, no, not in this economy. Not with this president. They'd be like, what are y'all talking about? You can do whatever you want to do. But going back to our title, I think it starts with figuring it out or figuring out the next step, the first step, believing that there's something, if the life we're living now isn't exactly what we want, believing that it is possible to change it, believing that it is possible to enjoy life. You know how many people think that you can't ever enjoy life? How many people think life is supposed to be miserable? How many people think all of humanity is bad? And if you watch the news and hang out on social media constantly, and if you do hang out with those type of people, we got to be honest. Sometimes it's our views on people are shaped a lot by the people we hang around. Okay, and if we're hanging around backstabbing people, now if you're a child and growing up in a household, you don't get to really pick who you're hanging around. But once we get a certain age, we get to decide who we hang out with. And they say like the five closest people to us determine our worldview and to some extent determine how far we get in life. So if our worldview is very negative and we're not really getting anywhere, part of it, a lot of it's us, but part of it might be like, okay, who am I kicking it with? You know what I mean? Like, who am I kicking? Like, what are the people around me telling me? What are the people around me like? What are they doing? What are they telling me? And then we got to check ourselves. Well, what am I doing and what am I telling them? Because I'm one of the five people for other people. That's something I always try to look at. What messaging am I giving when someone calls me and we talk on the phone for a couple hours? Me and my friends always talk 2 or 3 hours, if not more. What am I giving them? Are they hanging up the phone in a better mood? Or are we just sitting on the phone complaining and whining the whole time? Or am I just complaining and whining the whole time? You know what I mean? Like, I want the people who interact with me to be left feeling better than when they picked up the phone, or at least just as good a mood. I don't want them like depressed when they get off the phone with me. And likewise, it's like if we routinely hanging out with people and we leave sadder than when we showed up, like these types of things influence us. These are the type of things that make us be like, nah, I mean, nothing you can really do about it. They got you going and coming. I mean, there are influences on our lives. Obviously, the world around us does influence our life, but it does not have the last word in our life. We have the first word and the last word in our life. We have the power. We just have to learn to navigate through, around, over, and above the situations that come into our life. But it's like, that's where I'm heading. That's where I'm going. Nobody can really stop me because no one can stop you from trying. No one can stop us from trying. Even if we don't make it, no one can stop us from trying. And here's the thing, even if we spent our entire life going after a goal and didn't completely make it, that's still not a wasted life. That's still a good life. I spent my entire life going after something. Nobody ever stopped me. Might not have made it this time around, but I was locked in the whole time. That's still a good life. It's like a sports team. You may not win the championship, but if you made it to the playoffs, that's a good season. Nobody stopped you. You kept fighting the whole time. No matter how far you made it, as long as you was fighting the whole time, that's a good season. You never gave up. But the great thing is, if we have that much like devotion and we're willing to put that much effort into it, a lot of the stuff we want, we'll find. I was responding to a comment with someone today who, and I've heard this many times on the internet. Whenever I do, excuse me, hold on, hey, hmm, hmm. I thought I'd sneeze. Whenever I do a video or a stream about work, someone's always like, "Oh, it's not supposed to be enjoyable. That's why they call it work." But I bring that up to say, if you think that, you're never going to find enjoyable work. If you think work's not supposed to be enjoyable, that's why they call it work. You're never going to enjoy your job because you're always going to settle for non-enjoyable work because you think that's what work is. Whereas someone who's like, nah, I think there's something better. It might take a while. It might not manifest itself in your life or appear in your life tomorrow. It might take a while. But if you're the type of person like, hey, I really want to do this for a living, or I really want to find something that fits these criteria, these parameters. I want to do something that I don't dread getting up and going to work every day, and I'm going to keep looking for that until I find it. Chances are you'll find it. Because like I said, we've got help. We've got divine power. We're plugged into universal power. That which is at our disposal. And that is very empowering when you get to a point where you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Then you remember, oh, it's not just me fighting out here. I got help. And it's gonna step in and help me out right when I need it. But if we're just like, well, I can't, that don't all you can do is what you can do. Like there are so many cliches and platitudes and things people say that basically say don't try. And if that's the life people want, fine. It's cool. I would never tell anybody what to do. If that's the life you want, cool. But like, hold on, checking something. Sorry. But if not, no one can tell us we can't try for something else. And I think times like these, and I understand the fear, I understand the pessimism, I understand just the disgust with the things we see in the world around us, but it doesn't change by us just complaining about it. Like we eventually have to do something. Appreciate y'all hitting the like button too. Thank you. Thank you. Um, it doesn't change by us just like whining and complaining about it. Like we have to do something. And honestly, in times like these, I think focusing on what we're going to do is what gets us through these times. Better than if we just sit around and watch the news and get caught up. And it's easy to do. It's easy to do. I'll be trying to like look into what's going on just so like I'm better informed to talk about it on here. And I find myself like getting down and just, you know, what's wrong with the world? And I'm like, tell him like, bro, like the universe don't care about this stuff. God don't care about this stuff. This is regular. Seen it all before. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Like it's nothing. The true power in this universe is nothing to it. On some level, it's nothing to me. I have to remind myself. It ain't got nothing to do with me and what I'm trying to do. Other than that, I just have to navigate through it. I can't let it stop me. Like, why would I let it stop me? There's always going to be something. There's always going to be something to stop us if we let it stop us. But if we're just stubborn and we're just like, nah, this is what I'm doing. Appreciate all the heart emojis too. People, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. But if we just like, nah, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to achieve. This is what I'm dedicating my life to doing. Like, who can stop us? And the opposite is actually true. That's when we get more help. Like, if we decide to give up, we're not getting no help. I think every now and then we do get a little help, but like for all intents and purposes, if you give up, who's trying to help you? What if you've given up? And if I do help you, you're not gonna get nowhere. You know what I mean? If you turn the car off and get out, I'm not pushing. You know what I mean? Like, why am I gonna help you push? Like, you decided you're not going nowhere. Why are you going to get any help if we've decided to give up? But if we decide, hey, no matter what, I'm gonna keep going, then we get even more help, and the help is actually helpful. It's just one of those and I'm a big believer that life is very simple when you boil it down. And belief is one of the simplest things. Just believe. The concept's very simple. Now, the execution is difficult in this complicated world we've created, society we've created, I should say. The world isn't complicated. Nature is not complicated at all. Nature is very simple. Go for a walk in the woods. You'll see just how simple it is. It rains, things grow. Winter comes, they die. Like, you know what I mean? The, the animals have babies. They eat the things that grow. Something eats them. They die. You know what I mean? Like, nature's very simple. Nature's very simple. Priya, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Thank you. That is love. It said we programmed to defend our paychecks, not fulfill. Um, I think we're programmed to believe we've created a society where you need a paycheck, but I think we've been programmed to believe that paycheck can only come certain ways. So, not demonize working, not demonizing getting a paycheck, but I think we've been programmed to believe you have to, excuse me, you have to get that paycheck a certain way. Even though we have countless examples around us of people who don't. But that's a hard one. Money, and I'm definitely saying this from experience. Money is one of the biggest areas that derails us from going after what we want to go after. Because it typically, a lot of times, there's either an investment of money up front, or we end up like making less money. Somehow going after our dreams a lot of times affects our money. Not all dreams, not all goals, but a lot of time it affects our money. And that's one of the biggest fears, because it's like that's one thing that if the money go away, I ain't got no place to stay. The money go away, I ain't got nothing to eat. That's one of the biggest, and the programming plays on that. You know, companies openly play on that. You know what I mean? Everyone who's trying to get you to submit plays on that. Oh, you'll be broke. You'll be broke. We say it all the time. I'm sure I haven't been reading the comments. I'm gonna get to those in a minute, but I promise you, 10 people have probably said in the comments, "Yeah, but we need to make money." It's one of those things. It's very hard to like overcome. Even when we're doing good financially, we're scared to like take risks sometimes. Even when we got enough money to last for a couple of years, people are like, man, I got to keep working just in case. The good thing about that though, because we're gonna keep this positive. The good thing about that though is if you can get yourself to just once take a risk and not worry about the money and it works out, it makes it a lot easier because you've conquered one of the biggest fears. It'll come back up, but you'll know, like, oh, I was super worried about money, blah, 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 blah. I did it anyway. It worked out. It'll come back up because that's the world we live, the society we live in. But once you've conquered it once, you know, like, I got this. And here's the thing, too. When our sights are set on bigger goals, or when our life is in a certain direction, we're trying to do certain things. If I get to that goal, I hope I never go broke doing it. But if I did, or if I would not go broke, but if my coins was a little tight getting there, does it matter? You know, if that's something I have to navigate once or twice, is money's not as whatever it was. I got to figure this out. Boom, 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 boom. If I end up at the goal line, if I end up at the finish line, do I care? That'll just be part of the story. In order to get here, I had to risk this. It was hard sometimes, but I'm here now, and it's all that much sweeter. And I found too, and other people have backed me up on this too. Sometimes the money comes in even more when you start doing what you like doing, because you're getting flow. You're happier. You got more joy. You're not as stressed a lot of times. You get in flow state, and then like boom, you just start doing whatever you do. Sometimes see like the money just start coming in. You might just get a big windfall. Boom, checks just start coming in. The abundance just starts showing up. And then you're like, man, I should have done this 10 years ago. I should have done this back in 95. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do feel like we're programmed to be very worried about our paychecks. But sometimes that's the very thing we need to change. All right, cool. So I'm gonna take a swig of this water here. I was ranting for 30 minutes. We're gonna jump down to the comments, see if anybody has anything they want to talk about. You agree, disagree? Um, Let me know. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Michael Mike says you don't know what you want till it's gone. Um, that is true sometimes of things we already have in our life. But tonight we're discussing things you don't have yet. But here's the thing: nothing says you can't get it back if that is true. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. You can be like, I want that back, or something similar. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Tracy said, I agree with everything you're saying. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, let's talk about it. Oh, let me see. There's a good comment up here. Hold on. I want to see. I see some long ones up here. I'm gonna check in. Check on them. Fact, how can you win if you don't even try? Nice. Yeah, it's and people in situations, and it doesn't seem that way at the time. A lot of times, but in hindsight, or if we really look at it, oh man, that I was because sometimes you're like, why can't I get this? Why can't I take that next step? Why can't I? So you look back like, oh, it was me for continuing to associate like that or continuing in that situation. So it is me, but it's also the associations and the situations. Ooh, I like that. Associations and situations. I need to write that down. What do you mean, advance? What do you mean by toxic positivity? Different people have different definitions for that. Um, it's not something I really spend too much time thinking about because I'm like, but different people have different definitions of it. So I'd have to know your definition. I'm trying to get rid of the negativity. Then we can work on whether the positivity is good or not. Like, but different people have different definitions for that, so it's hard to talk about it if I don't know what someone means by that. Oh, Tria said, I just want to quit my job, focus on my mental health, have time to myself. I feel my soul getting sucked out. Yeah, yeah. And I see a lot of people was like, facts, feel that. Um, there's an exercise I like to do sometimes. If it's something like that, bro, I just want to get about this job and do me. And I think that's like the reason so many people feel that and it resonates with so many people because I think that's natural. Like we're put here to live life and we end up having to work and it's like sucking our soul out and messing with our mental health. And it's like, I'm not asking for, you know, castles and courtyards and courtesans. You know what I mean? I'm just asking to not have to work at this job and be able to take some time to like figure myself out. It's not, you know, I don't need much. Honestly, I just want a little time, you know? Um, and I think that is one of those things that I like to play an exercise, and I'm like, when I'm working, it's like I gotta stay working. I play a little exercise of, and it's one of those mindset things. But I'm like, if I really wanted to, I could walk out this door right now. And then I'm like, well, you wouldn't be able to pay your bills. I was like, well, I may end up, sleeping at the park, eating out of trash cans. But if I wanted to, I could leave right now. Now I'm deciding to stay here until I find something better because I like having an apartment and, being able to shop at the Kroger's, having shoes. I'm deciding, once again, I have the power. I am deciding to stay at this job while actively looking for something else that doesn't affect my mental health, doesn't give me dread, doesn't make me feel like my soul's being sucked out. But I am deciding to stay here until I get something different, just because I think it's equally important for my mental health to have a bed. That's a little exercise. Like, it doesn't change anything, but I found for me that it gave me a little extra to hang in there until the situation changed because it put the power back on me. Because before that, it felt a lot like I'm being forced to stay here and I hate it and I don't want to be here. Just that little slight shift and like, okay, I could leave tomorrow, you know. But I'm deciding at this moment, staying here is the move until I figure something else out. But I'm going to figure something else out. And then putting in the work to figure something else out, which once again, sometimes the cross we have to bear, the price we have to pay is it taking a little longer. But if you know, like that's what I want, now it's all about finding it. But a lot of people, I think it's easy to get to a point like that and then just complain about it. But it's like we have to. That's a good spot to be in because, like, you know what, I'm getting up out of here, and nothing's stopping me from figuring it out, no matter how long it takes. I'm figuring this out and get up out of here. Hey, thanks, Lee. Yeah, Priya. The Prius was my safety net shelter, and that's why I'm glad I got rid of it because now you know what I mean. I like to push myself. I like to hold my hand to the fire sometimes, um, and it was like I made a decision about what I was, how I thought this year was going to look, and I was like, well, and for other reasons too. But I'm like, well, if the car goes, then like boom, 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 and I'm like, all right, let's, we're gonna have to figure out how to make it work without a car. Let's go. I don't. Yeah, I like. It can be stressful, but I like because I know when I come out the other side, when I eventually decide to get another car, it's an even better story. It's a good story now, but an even better story. Advanced. If I don't like, you don't have to follow societal gender rules or norms. No. And I know that's hard when a lot of other people do, and they look at you crazy or whatever. But honestly, only you and the people who care about you matter when it comes to like, if you want to act that way, act that way. Like, what are they going to do? Look at you funny, call you names? Okay, whatever. Been there, done that. As long as you are comfortable with you and you accept it and your friends and loved ones accept it, like these other people, bro, like time will come that you've seen every look, you've heard every name, But honestly, a lot of times it's us accepting it. That's the major key. Because sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, this is me, but at the same time, we also wish we were different, maybe. And I think you know, eventually the day can come when you're like, hey, this is me. This is what I do. This is why the people who love me for this. It's okay. It's not wrong. That's part of the programming too. There's some stuff about us we can be programmed deep down inside as wrong. But it's like, no, I'm man this way, or I woman this way, or I whatever this way. This is the way I do it. And my way of doing it is just as good as anybody else's. Who's to say how any of us should do anything? Hey, Doobie, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. So I'm on a long road trip from Florida to NC. So I appreciate the live. Hey, good luck on the trip. Get there safely. Going down North Carolina. Okay, yeah. We here with you. We here with you. Let's talk. Let's go. Thomas, yeah, I'm doing good, doing good. Thank you. Zim, I get asked this question a lot. Who's gonna look after you when you're an old man? The same person who's looked after me my whole life. You know, I'm a firm believer in a higher power. That higher power, when I was born, put me in a household with amazing parents. You know, they looked after me once I was grown. It gave me some great skill sets for working. I've been able to look after myself. If that goes away, I just have to believe something else will step in, or I'll just die freezing under a bridge. You know, but to I'm not one of those humans who think we as humans have to have it all figured out. I do my part, and hopefully it's enough. But I firmly believe there's something greater than me who walks with me. Facts, creative journey. You stop worrying about money, it flows better. Because when you're worried about money, it's that scarcity mindset. You're setting up money blocks, you know. But when I've seen it when I'm just like whatever. Then like the money's just there. I'm like, oh okay. But when you're worried about money, there's never enough money. But when you stop worrying about money, you seem to get the money. There's always enough money. You know what I mean? Like it just seems that way. Hey man, thank you. So the shirt's popping. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh, advance. Yeah, I definitely don't think. See, I don't consider this toxic positivity. I just don't like the term. But the idea that you have to stay positive no matter what, I don't think is true. I think staying as positive as you can at all times. But I don't think you have to always be in a great mood. No, no. And I don't really know anybody who preaches that. I mean, there might be some people, but most of the people I know who talk positivity don't say you got to be positive no matter what. Sometimes you're depressed, sometimes you're down. Um, and this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. I think people came up with toxic positivity to combat that so many people started preaching positivity. And they don't want you positive. They don't want you empowered. They don't want you happy. If you got all that, well, then who's gonna keep going back to these vices that make that make them so much money? You know what I mean? So I think they came up with toxic positivity to counteract so many people talking about positivity. Because like I'm trying. I could probably count on one hand, even on the internet, people I've heard say, "Stay positive no matter what." You know, most people talk about like, and there might be some. I'm sure there's some, but most people just like, hey, you don't always have to be negative. You can be positive. That is a big one. 436. And you'll see how it's all a game. You see how it's set up. We'll set it up so that most people get their health insurance through their job. And in the beginning, it'll be pretty good healthcare. Then over time, we'll systematically make it crappier and crappier. But then they can't quit their crappy job with crappy health insurance because there's no other option. The system does not have to be set up that way. It doesn't. A, health insurance does not have to be that expensive. And B, it could have been set up from the beginning. Oh, everybody buys their own healthcare. These are the things we don't think about. From the very beginning, it could have been set up. Oh, A, healthcare is cheap enough that you can just save a little money and afford to take care of yourself. Or B, everybody buys their own health insurance. And if it's affordable, it's not a big deal. That way, you already have it. And when you quit your job, it doesn't matter because you got your own health insurance. We didn't set it up that way. And now we're seeing why. Because, yeah, that's probably one of the biggest questions I get is people like, what do you do for health insurance? If I lose my job, I lose my health insurance. One of the biggest things, because it's all a game. Once you start to see it, you see it everywhere. You're like, oh, that makes sense. Think about it. Think about it. If I'm an employer, why do I want to pay for my employees' health insurance? Unless it's to like attract people. You know what I mean? It's an extra expense. Common logic would dictate that you'd be like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with that. Now I get people say, well, it was cheaper if you go through the company, and I get that too. But if companies really cared, if they really offered health insurance because they care, you'd have better prices, and it wouldn't be getting crappier and crappier every year. So the fact that it's steadily declining lets me know it's not that something they're doing out of the goodness of their heart. So you get cheaper premiums. No, no. I'm an okay. Taking off 1 or 2 months every year to reboot, being debt free is key. I love that. I love that. And that is a good point. Yeah, debt free. That gives you so many options that you don't have if you have debt, which is why they push debt. That and the economy is based on debt. But debt free and a little savings gives you way more options. And I love talking to younger people because like if we could get people at 18, 17, 18, and be like, don't go into debt unless it's like something major like a house or car, don't go into debt and save a little money. That would set people on just an amazing path in life. Just that right there. And that's just financial advice. That's before we get to the real life advice. You know how much stress you could reduce from the average person's life if someone got to them at 16, 17 and said, hey, don't go into debt, cut up those credit cards when they send them to you, just like keep one for emergencies and save money. Fast forward 20 years, I promise you, they barring time and unforeseen occurrence, they'd be a lot more stress-free and happier than people who didn't get that message. But we don't tell them that. No, I'm not looking for a car right now. No. Hey, how you doing, Richard? Yeah, but like the things I wanted to do, it just wasn't worth having a car right now. For example, when I got a car, like I'll be all like if I was just staying in one city, yeah. Like if I was going to stay in Denver, I would have just got a car when I turned that one in. But I know I'm going to be all over the country, and like I really don't want to be road tripping, driving a car all over the country, having to park it. Like I just didn't want to deal with it. Like so, it's just one of those things that this goes back to what we're talking about. When you decide what you're trying to do, be it for a year, 5 years, your whole life, then you can make decisions based on that. So I knew it was like 2024. I'm really not thinking about a car like that. Like it's going to get in my way, you know. And so it might not seem like it makes sense to someone else, but the beauty of it is it only has to make sense to me because it's only me who has to deal with the positive or negative repercussions. So it makes sense to me. So, oh man, these comments are coming in good. I'm way behind. Yeah, man. Yeah, any like I don't even like the term weak men, but any type of man, however you decide to man, whatever being a man looks like to you, you can have friendships and relationships because there will be people who are attracted to that. There will be people who are like, "Hey, that's the type of person I want to be my friend." Once again, society tries to perpetuate that like there's certain ways you have to be, or nobody will love you, nobody will like you. But if you look around, we see all types of people interacting and finding love and finding friends. Or at times like these, when we're going through like a loneliness epidemic, even the people that society set up and said, this is how you should be, they lonely too. They friendless too. So like yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you continue to like see yourself as a weak man, it'll be a problem. Because it's in your mind like I'm weak, no one's gonna but if you're just like, I'm me, take it or leave it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's when people take it. Because people will be like, oh, this you can be confident no matter who you are, you know? Yes, I had amazing parents. I had amazing parents. They spell them. You wrote a resignation letter to your job. They asked you to stay when you when you went to get it. You still gonna leave though. I feel you. I feel you. You stay for a while, but you're still gonna leave. Okay, okay. Exactly. Good point, Carolyn. We work so hard, you know what I mean? That we don't take time to figure out what we're working for, you know? And that's a big that's why I'm so big on the whole womb to tomb concept, which has been very freeing for me. Because it's like all I really gotta do is get from womb to tomb. All I gotta do. Now, I would like to get that in, the most comfortable manner possible, and doing things I enjoy and all that. But like I just gotta get womb to tomb. So if I can find a way to do that that brings me joy, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if other people get it. It doesn't matter if other people think it's crazy. It doesn't matter if I don't have certain things other people think I have to have. Like I just got to get womb to tomb, which is all any of us are doing. Anybody who thinks they're doing otherwise is they're the real delusional ones. Things in life only mean something to us when they really mean something to us. And I say that because there are so many people who think they're doing something in this life and it's not doing nothing for them, which is why they have to constantly like find something else to do. But a lot of times we don't stop and take inventory and be like, what do I want to do? I got 40 more years, I got 50 more years. What do I want to do in them years? And do I have to follow the status quo to get there? I'm about to turn my fan on, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be 2 seconds. Okay. I got the window open, so the heat's coming through. Hey, Cameron, that's awesome. That's awesome. Took the leaving for Japan next year. Yes, 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 yes. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Gonna start living your life, not worry about things you can't control. You're gonna look back on this moment 5 years from now and be like, I'm so glad I did that. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like, man, so glad I did that. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, where am I in these comments? What up, Kendra? Richard said, realistic optimist, realize that bad things can and will happen, accept it, do what you can to get back to happy, optimistic. Exactly. Exactly. I don't know why a lot of times when you're optimistic, people think there's something wrong with it. It's like, no, I know. And I think sometimes that happens because if you're optimistic, like I'm not going to sit here and talk about all the negative stuff or bad stuff that happens in my life. So I think sometimes people are like, oh, you just don't understand how bad the world. I'm like, bro, it does, and some of the stuff I will, but like I know stuff's gonna happen that brings me suffering, brings me pain, stuff I don't like, stuff I gotta deal with. It's happened in the past, it'll happen in the future. But like I don't stop that from or anyone else who's optimistic doesn't stop that from letting them be optimistic. Being optimistic says, in spite of all that, I still think it's gonna be okay. Being optimistic isn't just like, oh, it's always gonna be great. It's like, no, in spite of that, I'm gonna be okay. And I think if people haven't got to that place, they don't, that triggers them to hear you say that. I think if someone is really still bogged down by all the stuff that happens in the world and they haven't really figured out how to kind of deal with it and still get back to happy, get back to joy, it kind of bothers you to see somebody else doing that. Because you're like, why are they not going through all the stuff I'm going through? They're not seeing all the stuff I'm seeing. And it's like, no, we going through it too. Trust, you can't escape a lot of this stuff. But it's just being like, hey, I'm gonna deal with this, keep doing what I was doing. You know, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. Hey, Luke Cage coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Luke. Thank you, Super Chat Squad. Thank you, Luke. Said you ever thought about living in a developing country for a while? You can drastically cut your expenses and save a lot of money. Luke, I've thought about it, but I don't know. Every time I've left the country, when it was time to come back, I was ready to come back. So if I find a country one day that I visit and I'm like, man, I like it here, maybe, but thus far, I just haven't really wanted to live anywhere other than the United States. Now, I've only been to 3 other countries, so there's lots of room for that to change in the coming years. But thus far, I just haven't found anywhere that like I wanted to live other than America. You know. Hey, what up, JS? BT, that is not true. No credit cards equals no credit. That's not true. I haven't had a credit card in over 25 years, and I got credit. So somebody said that to me the other day. They're like, "Oh, if you don't have credit cards, you can't rent an apartment." Um, what they say? Can't rent an apartment. There's a bunch of other stuff. And I wrote back. I was like, respectfully, I have to disagree because I've done all that stuff, and I haven't had a credit card in over 25 years. It's probably going on like 30 years now. Um, so that's not true. There are other ways of building credit other than having a credit card. Not to mention, eh, these days, I mean, there are ways to not play the credit game and still get what you want. But that is one of the myths they like to perpetrate is like, oh, if you don't get a credit card, you got no credit, you can't do nothing. The only thing I ever had trouble was getting a rental car. The last time, and this is probably one of the only times in all these years I had trouble not having a major credit card was when I went to try to rent a car. And they were like, "Oh, if you're not like if I had had a round trip plane ticket, I still could have done it. But I was just going. I was living in Bozeman. I just wanted to rent a car for a week, and they were like, "Oh, security reasons. If you don't have a plane ticket saying you'll be back at this airport, you need a major credit card." And then the dude right next door at like Avis or whatever was like, "I'll rent you one." So yeah, that's I know for a fact that's not true. Like I got credit and I don't have a credit card. That's how I mean I just financed a car, so you know. How about a bike? Nah, I'm good. I'd like to walk. I like to walk. Like yeah, a bike you gotta park it somewhere, lock it up. Like I don't mind walking, you know? Now I do want to say I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a credit card, but credit cards, it's what you do with it. So I feel like for the average person, as much credit as they have is what they're gonna use. That's why like I would tell like my son if I had one, or my nephew, like bro, or my niece, like sis, just get like one card for emergencies. Try to never use it. And when you do, pay it off. Because if you start down that road of just seeing something you want and putting it on the credit card, you're gonna be on that road the rest of your life probably, or it's gonna be a long road getting off it. 710. Yes. You can get to a place in life, especially if you've been single for a while, where it's just like, why does everybody else have a partner and I don't? But sometimes that's the hand you're dealt. You know, there are some things in life that it's just another one of those hurdles or a stumbling block. And it's just like that's once again, I think it helps to have stuff you're doing. So it's like, well, I may have to run this race alone for this part of my life, but I'm still getting there. Or you could have finding a partner be one of the things in life. I really want to find somebody. And it just be like every day I'm trying to do what I can do to find that person, but the cross I might have to bear might be that they don't come for 6 years. But I know for me, and like I say, I talk about it way more on here because people ask me than I ever do in real life because I it's just not something I dwell on. But it's like once again, I feel like there's something greater than me assisting me, and I think if it's necessary or when it's time, it'll just happen. I'm like, oh, okay, there she is. But I definitely get yes, where you can just like everybody. I did a video about it, my lone wolf video. I'm like, some people break up, they in a relationship the next day. Like, bro, it's been years. But like, I mean, that's just you know, I'm sure there's things you have that other people wish they had. So it all works out in the end. Hey, Steve Mayfield, thank you, thank you, thank you. Steve Mayfield coming through again. I appreciate that. Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much, Steve. The generosity, your generosity. Thank you so much. The abundance. Nay, the abundance. Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Definitely helps to get the motivation, keep streaming, keep going. So big shout out to Steve, the whole Super Chat Squad. And big shout out to everybody who here. Big shout out to everybody who here. But thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate that. Like, thank you, thank you. Where we at in the comments? Okay, I'm trying to get caught up. Okay, we're removing that comment because we're not gonna bash different genders. Would I live in Canada? Yeah. James said always cash. I mean, these days with debit cards, it was different. Like if there weren't debit cards, it might be harder than to have credit cards. But now with debit cards, I mean, you know, it's basically it's the same game without being able to spend more money than you have. Hey, Praveen, good to see you. Good to see you. Parents gonna be back in Florida tomorrow. Okay, you better throw that party tonight. Throw that party tonight, sir. My opinion about Costco pizza. I don't have I had a Costco pizza. I feel like I did. Greasy and good. Or was that no, that was a Winco pizza. I don't think I've had a Costco pizza. Fact, sack, whack. It's a game. They don't offer you credit because they're your friends. They offer you credit cards and credit because they make money off of it. But when you look at it that way, it's different. Robert said, "What about a moped?" I'm good walking. I'm good walking. If there are any jobs that'll pay you to walk, that'd be a good thing to Google. Colin Gibson, how you doing? How you doing? Dorothea checking in. Jamie, yes, you can buy. There is the YMCA of the Rockies has an amazing mailroom. Actually, one of the best mailrooms I've seen. I've seen some decent mailrooms in seasonal work, but the Y has a really good one. Um, yeah, so you can have. They'll give you the address. Actually, I know it by heart. 2015 Tunnel Road, Estes Park, Colorado 80511. Because I've lived there so many times. But yeah, the packages will go to the post office in Estes Park, but the because the Y has their own postal people. So it's a lady now. She goes to the post office Estes Park, gets the stuff. So it comes right there to the Y. And you just go pick it up. You just got to show your ID or your driver's license. And yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, I give it to Jamie. Jamie thorough with the questions. Thorough with the questions. I give you that. Alex, I started going bald, like you can see. It wasn't this bad, but I started down this path at like 19. So, you just keep your hair cut pretty low. And now these days I just shave it all off. So for me, it's easy because I can just shave it off. I just get lazy like times like this. Um, Normally I would be wearing a hat, but I don't want to wear a hat with the shirt. I like the shirt. So I was like, well, they know I'm balding. But I for me, I could just shave my head. So but I think the thing too is over time you just get used to it. Yeah, like you just get used to it. Like you may not like it. Like I like this. I don't like this. I'm like, I'm used to it. But like if I wasn't so lazy, I would have shaved my head. But I I like cutting my hair even less. But like you get used to it. It's not the end of the world. Like if I had a date, yeah, I'd shave. but I shave my head. But I'm like, it does it matter to me if like you don't like it because you think people are looking at you judging you. And once I realized like I don't think it's ever stopped me from, getting with a woman who was interested in me. Like who cares? Like, what are they gonna say? You're balding. And then it's like, yeah, I am. Now what? And if someone's like, oh, I don't like a balding man, okay. Yeah, I mean, like it only bothers you as long as it bothers you. And while I think it never completely is something you're in love with, I think you can get to the point kind of where I'm at where I'm saying, like I got bigger things to deal with. But I think over time it just kind of you get used to it. But yeah, you can be a dog walker. They'll pay you to walk, but you got to have dogs with you. Mud. I have a backpack and a carry-on suitcase. Yeah, yeah, love it, love it, love it. Telling you, love it. Like not having it seems Spartan, but like I love the freedom of it. I can hop on any plane, anytime, any day I want. Boom. If I'm like, I want to be up out of here tomorrow. Take me an hour to pack my stuff. Let's go. Call an Uber. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I've walked more than 10 miles. I know I walked 14 once because I've told this story many times, but I was doing a hike that I wasn't going to do the hike, but it was in Glacier National Park, and it was 7 miles to this lake and 7 miles back. But like 1 mile in, 1 or 2 miles in, there was this really cool like rope kind of bridge thing, and I usually would just walk there, hang out by the river, walk back. But one day I was walking, and a friend of mine, Sydney, actually we really weren't even friends before that. Like I was walking, and she walked up, and she was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this trail here." And she was like, "We both worked the same job," and she was like, "Hey, can I walk with you?" So I was like, "Cool." And so we started walking, and we were having really good conversation, and so we just never stopped. So we walked 7 miles to the lake, and then we turned around and walked 7 miles back. So that was one day I walked 14 miles, and only one bottle of water because I had two bottles of water, and she had like this little bottle of water, and she drank it, and I gave her one of mine. So we walked 14 miles on like two bottles of water, basically. But normally I don't keep my steps, or I just be walking. I just be walking. Mark, I'm not in San Diego. No. Hey, thanks, Alex. Chris, you know what you want exactly, but she don't want you. Well, you know, time to find another. No, there's got to be 8 billion people on the planet. Good news. Good news, Chris. 8 billion people on the planet. I'm sure you'll find somebody else you want. Dorothea, yeah, I love walking around near rivers or lakes. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You gotta understand, I'm from Florida, so I'm used to walking around the swamp. You know what I mean? So a regular river and lake is amazing to me. Swamp, you got water moccasins and gators and all this type of stuff. A regular lake, river, that's nothing to me. Like, bring it. Let's go. Let's go. I love rivers and lakes. Yeah. Jamaica in the building. J 47. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, we gonna keep working. Thank you. That's for the double feminist comment. You know we don't come at people like that. Most women, we're not gonna say all women are feminists in America. We're not. We don't fight the gender wars over here, respectfully. Thank you, Rico. Wow, Rico coming with the positivity. Got the women sparkling over his. The kid does what he does. You know what I mean? I keeps it pretty. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. There's. I don't care who you are. There's somebody out there checking for you. I firmly believe that. You mix it up enough, mingle with enough people. I don't care who you are. Somebody checking. Somebody like. I don't know why. I like that one. I'm telling you, man. Telling you, doesn't always seem that way, but it's true. I'm telling you. Jamie, if I have health complications, I mean, I'll go to the doctor, go to the ER, try to get them dealt with. If it, and then yeah, like I don't know. It depends on what it is. I mean, if they're like, hey, we can't help you because you don't have health insurance, well, I guess I just got to deal with it. Like, okay, that's womb to tomb. If it's 80 years, cool. If it's 50 years, that's cool too. Womb to tomb. Hey, Mr. Ward, you don't have health insurance. We can't treat you. You'll probably die in 6 months. Or we treated you, but it's going to cost you $300,000. Well, they're not getting that, obviously. I'm like, payment plan, $50 a month. Like, but honestly, I just don't have that mindset of worrying about, I don't pre think health complications. You know what I mean? There's a million things that could happen to each and every one of us every day. We don't sit around thinking about them. We just live our life. So, like, I don't wake up every morning and be like, oh man, if I get sick, bro, like, I just live. Like, things happen. You got to figure them out. That's like saying, what would you do if you got hit by a car and paralyzed? You know what I mean? Like, what they figure it out. Like, hopefully it doesn't happen. That's what I like to say. I just be living. Oh wait, where am I? Where am I in the channel? My backpack is, it's not very big. It's like a standard school backpack. Um, yeah, it's like a standard school backpack, and my carry on is just your standard carry on. They're nothing special. Hey, Mud, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you, thank you. So, Tim, thanks for inspiring me to work at Yellowstone last summer and responding to my stupid comments. You good, you good. Let me break you off some of this unemployment check. Yes, yes. Some of that unemployment money. I love it, I love it. That's abundance, too. Hey, Mud, hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime I can, throw a little inspiration somebody's way to do seasonal work. I love that. I love that. Any questions are stupid. I enjoy you being in the chat and talking with us, and I appreciate that support. Thank you, thank you. We heard. What I consider DOI. I don't know what that means. Would I rather live in Charleston or Florida? I've never been to Charleston, so I don't know. Yeah, I do the goatee sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I do the goatee. It's just a lot of work, and I don't like having to daily kind of. If I live close to like a barber shop, I'd probably do the goatee every now and then because I could just jump down there every now and then, have them tighten it up maybe. But yeah, F Doctor, I will admit, my first cold winter, if you could ask me by a big sky, my first real winter was in Montana, and I was crying, scared all summer, late summer and fall. Once I decided I was going to stay for the winter, I was so scared. They were like, bro, like literally people walk up to me and be like, hey, I heard you're super scared about the winter. It's not that bad. Like, because everybody heard me, like, and it wasn't that bad. I went out and got not ski boots, but like winter boots and all this long johns, all this. I didn't use half of it. Like, it's not that bad. Yeah. But I mean, it's just, weather's like that. Once you're in it, you just got to deal with it. Weather's like life. It may not always be comfortable, but once you in it, you got to deal with it. So like that's how it was. It just got cold down in Florida when it would get super hot. Like, and I was doing lawn maintenance. You just got to deal with it. Like, it don't kill you. It be cold sometimes. Though these days I am enjoying not being in the winter these days. Love you too, no problem. Would I consider myself homeless? Nah, nah. I mean, every night I got a bed to sleep in. I got heat and air. You know what I mean? Like like I don't. I feel like that would be disrespectful to people who are actually homeless. That's like when I see people do, and people can do whatever they want. But when I see people do like clickbaity titles about why I'm homeless, and I know they good, like if you decided to sleep in your car and you fixed your car up and you got money and you got a job, you just want to live in your car, don't be saying you homeless. Because that's disrespectful to the people who got no choice. So I would never say I was homeless unless I was actually homeless. Because like, bro, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like that would be, yeah. Praveen coming through with the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you, Praveen. So thank you for all you do, Tim, and keeping me entertained. You're welcome. Sorry about the negative comments you get from some people. You're my favorite creator on YouTube. Thank you so much, Praveen. Thank you. That means a lot. That really does. That means a lot. Thank you. And, you know, the negative comments come with it, but I appreciate you apologizing for them. I appreciate that. And thank you. Like when you say you're my favorite creator, that means a lot. Thank you. One of these days we're gonna meet, sir. You're gonna be walking 10 miles. And I was like, is that Praveen? That's Praveen. You're gonna be like, let me finish my walk. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Robert, you were rocking the goatee again? Okay, okay. Alex has a facial hair because you're lazy. I was looking back like at like a bunch of old pictures, just kind of scrolling through, and I liked me better with the hair. I still am gonna dye it one day just to see what happens. But I was like, I like me better with the facial hair. So we rocking it. Hey, we got a super chat train. Super chat train. L1LL. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super chat squad. Thank you. Says, hey Tim, you've been an inspiration in taking the leap. I'm about to resign my six-figure corporate job and gonna start traveling. Love from Australia. Let's go. Come through with the Australian cash. This international super chat squad. Thank you. Hey, hey, I know you're gonna enjoy that. I know you're gonna have tons of fun with that. Hey, you know, you got to live. You got to live. You got to live. And I feel blessed if I could sprinkle a little inspiration your way. And thank you so much for the support. Have fun with that. Keep us in the loop. Let us know how the travel goes. That's gonna be fun. That sounds fun. That sounds fun. That's the only thing about being from Australia is to get anywhere. You just like a 10 hour to get anywhere is like a 10-hour flight. Any other country you want to go to is like 12-hour flight. Um, but that's awesome. That's awesome. Have fun. Have fun. Keep us in the updated. Yeah, sure. I'm with you. Like homeless and houseless are two different things. So it's like, but we know what people mean when they say homeless. So why would I even piggyback off that? Like if someone's like, "Do you have a set address?" I'm like, "No." But like I don't. I'm not going to use any terminology that you know what people mean. Like I said, I feel like it's disrespectful. You know. Yeah, I cut my own hair. I'm cheap. And I just don't like the barber shop, bro. Like, if I could find a mobile barber, like the next time I find a home base, if I could find a mobile barber, cool. Because I'd love for someone to do this, tighten me up, you know. But I don't like going to the barber shop. I just do it myself. Shaquita, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Good to see you. Would I date someone who's in prison? I don't know. Like, if somehow we met and I was feeling her, sure, you know. And she was like, I'm coming home and whatever, whatever. Like, well, I'm not gonna be like, no, you're in prison. Monique had a good special years ago called "I Could Have Been Your Cellmate," and she did it in a prison, and she was just saying like everybody, most of us have done something that if the police had been there at the time, we could have been locked up. You know what I mean? So she was just saying like, she don't, yeah, y'all are in here because y'all have done some stuff and got caught, but don't think I couldn't have been right up in here with you. And I thought that was really cool to like, she was just saying like society judges you even after you've paid the price. And some people are in prison for doing some bad stuff. You know what I mean? We're not excusing them, but she was just saying the judgment. doesn't have to be there. Like a lot of people who done worse stuff aren't in prison will judge people who are in prison. I thought that was nice of her. I thought it was nice of her. Hey, Victor. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Supercat Squad. Thank you, Victor. Victor coming through. So what up, Tim? When I worked on a ship, it felt so freeing to only have to worry about the stuff under my bed locker. Exactly. I wish everybody could experience it for like a month. Or I mean, just so people could see how freeing it is. I wish there was a way you could experience it without not having to actually do it. Because a lot of people will never do it, which is cool. But like, I wish you could experience it so people could be like, "Oh snap, I like that. I'm gonna go back home and get rid of my stuff." I mean, it's freeing, man. It's very freeing. I love it. Like I bought this shirt today, so I got to get rid of a shirt. I already know the shirt I'm gonna get rid of, but bought this shirt, gonna get rid of a shirt. And the cool thing about this shirt is this material. It folds up. When you don't have a lot of space, you start thinking about stuff like this. I'm like, oh, this shirt will fold up super compact and tight, probably tighter than the shirt. Actually, definitely, it'll fold up tighter than the shirt I'm getting rid of. So I'm like, ooh, I got even more space now. I get excited about space and room. Um, but it's very freeing, man, to just be like, man, I can literally hop in whatever mode of transportation I want to hop in, go wherever I want to go, and I'm good. I got everything I need. And if there's something else I need, I just buy it. Like when I was in San Diego, I bought an iron. I was gonna be there a while. You know how they are in California. There's some places I go, I don't iron my shirts. I ain't ironed a shirt since I've been here where I'm at. Um, I was out in Cali saying, I was like, let me iron my shirts. You know how they get in California. So I bought an iron off Amazon, $19 or so, I don't know, whatever. And then when I left it there for the next person at the Airbnb. But I would much prefer do that than lug an iron around with me. So it's just, and I know some people are like, that's losing $19, but I used it for a month, so I'm good. But it's very freeing. Thank you, Victor. Thank you. Mobile barber for digital nomad. Yeah, if you a barber, show up to like the RTR, the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, or some of the other conventions where a lot of the van people go. I promise you clean up. Hey, I'm here. I cut you all up for the low ski. Well, you probably be backed up for days. Amazing Larry said, keep it going. Definitely will. Thank you. No, 7 to 9 hours. Okay, that ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. To Southeast Asia. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I remember when haircuts were. I was thinking about that when I said I'd probably use a barber. I'm like, wait a second, though. Haircuts are like $50 now. I don't know. I remember when you give them a 20 and that was with the tip. Mom said, give him this 20. That was a generous tip. Not no more. John, you got an inmate tell you that back in your correctional officer days? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's some people, but we all done some stuff. If it had went left instead of right, it would, it different, Oh, Robert, you think about getting a travel trailer? Put in an RV park, your DoorDash income work for a loan? I could believe that. They hit them RV places, boy. They be trying to push them out. Alexandra checking in from Montana. A beautiful state, beautiful state. Yeah, the winters are long though. That was what, and I love Montana too, but it's cool not to have a 6 month winter this year. Adam, you working in 5 to 1 closing shifts, killing you. At least you get to touch grass for 2 days. Okay, okay. Things have got to change. Hey, back to what we're talking about. Figure, all right, something's got to change. All right, now what needs to change, and how do I want it to change? And then it's just keeping that there and going for it. The difference is living in the southeast versus living in the northwest. I think that part of the country is a lot more scenic. I mean, all regions have their beauty, but I think the Colorados and the Montanas are just. I love that scenery up there. I just love the scenery up there. Um, no disrespect to the people, but I just feel like the vibe is a little different out that way than back in the southeast. $20 because you throwing out of a barber shop. Facts. Do you ever get sick of talking? Oh yeah, and that's those. I don't say I get sick of it, but some days I'm like, I don't feel like talking today. Like yesterday, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch my sports today. I was gonna watch my sports today, and it's more. Sometimes I don't have anything to say. Surprise. There are some days I'm like, I got nothing to say. You know, and sometimes I'll do it. Just hey, let's talk about anything streamer. But sometimes like I don't feel like talking again until I got something to say. You know, but yeah, there are some days I'm like, and you'll see sometimes I'll go through a time and I won't come on YouTube for a week or two. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I'm a chill. Like I've learned that if I ever start feeling burnout, I'll stop because I'd rather take some time off and get back to it when I'm enjoying it again, and instead of trying to push through it and like really starting to dislike it. And it's like I never want to dislike doing this. You know. Yeah, but there are some days, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, like I literally planned on streaming yesterday, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna watch my softball. I said I'll get back to it Sunday. I was gonna do a sobriety stream yesterday, and I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna hold off. But even then, there was a part of me that was like, nah, do it anyway, and I was like, you know, we good. What am I smelling? What time is it? Oh, it's early. It's early. What are we talking about? Thanks, Max. Max said nice shirt. Thank you. Yeah, I think it was. It might have been $11. Cheap. I go cheap. Chris, you've been sober for 6 months now. Nice, 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 nice. I think cosmetic surgery is popular among celebrities. Produce. I don't know if all of them have, but I imagine a lot of them have. I mean, I get it. Like, if your face card might, you know what I mean? It determines work in a lot of cases. So I get it. I mean, a lot of us regular people get cosmetic surgery and it don't pay our bills. So imagine if like your looks determine whether you get another role. You know what I mean? Or if you get different ad sponsors or what, you know what I mean? So like I get and just the pressure. You're always on the blogs, you're always in, on TV. Like people are watching your every move. It's got to be hard to say no when you start seeing age or whatever, and you're like, man, for 20 grand, I can get this taken care of. Let's go. I don't thrift. Nah, nah. It's just not. I'm just not. I used to go thrifting when I wanted to like find stuff to resell on eBay or whatever, but I never really was that good at it. Dumpster diving, I was great at. Like I love dumpster diving. There's no overhead, but when I had to like buy stuff to resell, I wasn't very good at it. I almost always lost money. So, but as far as for myself, I don't. Yeah, I'd much rather just buy it. Like Skyfox, how you doing? Caitlin, what's up? Good to see you. Austin in the building, still there? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Oh, that's right. You're there for good now. You said cool. Doopy, someone. I feel like every stream someone asks me this. Every stream. It's kind of weird, but I get it. But no, I don't. I don't. No. Hey, see you later, Richard. Good having you here. Thank you for coming through. Praveen out there getting them facials every other month. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hey, he making that bank over there at the Weigmans, setting up them facial appointments. Let's go. Oh, that's awesome. Got an apartment, just moved in on Friday. Nice. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay. 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 Are the apartment prices out that way reasonable? I'm asking people now. You know, I'm trying to find the cheap places to live in the States. The apartment prices out that way reasonable? That I don't understand produce when celebrities are like, I never had surgery. I'd be like, yeah, man. You see how good, man, yeah. Go down there and get you some. I'd be handing out my surgeon's cards, trying to get that bonus, that referral bonus. Go down there to old Dr. Jacobs. He'll get you right, hopefully. Wendy checking in. How you doing? Ted, I don't people are fascinated by that topic. I don't know. I don't know. It almost I don't think it ever comes up in my conversations. I've never asked another grown man. So yeah, but people, I don't, I respect it. I just don't. Yeah, people curious. Yes, sober ego. I watched the Sabrina versus Steph 3-point challenge. Yes, first thing I did this morning. One of the first things. I was like, oh, I pulled it up, watched it on YouTube. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was proud. I was proud. I was happy with the way some of the commentary I was mad about, but um, it's to be expected from men. But from certain men in sports, anyway, if you have commentators who are used to commentating men's sports, don't let them commentate women typically because they just say stuff that anyway. But yeah, I was happy with the I was happy with the outcome. Even though she lost, I was happy with the outcome. I was happy the way it came off. Like he has to win. He's Steph Curry, but she showed she could shoot with the best of them. She had him shook at first. He's like, ooh, but yeah. So I was happy with it. Oh, that ain't bad at all. That ain't bad at all. $1,000 for one bedroom. That ain't bad at all. South Austin. Okay, okay. Gotta remember that. Victoria, good question. How do you know if you really want something or if it's been programmed into you? I think a big indicator is how many other people around you want it to. I think that's a big indicator. Like if it's something everybody wants, you know, that might be the programming. But we all have that stuff that like, and that's not to say you can't want something a lot of people want, but that's usually a good indicator. If you tell all your friends what it is you're thinking about doing or what you want in life, and none of them go, that might be the program. You know, the more other people don't get it, I think the more you see that it's you. Because it's just like people will be like, "What? Huh? You want to do what?" That's because we all get the same programming, right? So if other people don't really understand it, that's usually a good indication is you and not the programming because they got the same programming as you. That's why I love when people be like, "Man, that's stupid." I go, "Ooh, I got a good one. I got a good one." People don't get it. I'm not saying that topic is weird. I'm saying it's weird to like not even it's just I would never ask somebody that is all I'm saying. I don't know, $1,000 for one bedroom is about standard in a lot of places. Caitlin, yeah, far away. Ask me anything. You know that. Alex, she's not in college. She's not in college. She's been in the pros 3 years now. Skyfox. I haven't been saying where I'm at, or probably. I mean, I said in future if I go somewhere epic, I'll probably say it. But just my everyday trips and travels, I don't know if I'm gonna say. If people find out, cool. It's not a secret, but it's just like I just don't know if I'm just going to volunteer it. Exactly, Dr. X. That's what got on my nerves. She should have started from the W. She should have shot for the WNBA line. She should have shot for the WNBA line. I'm like, she's sank 24, bro. Like that's the type of stuff that dudes say when they commentate women. That, and I don't think they always mean any, but like you got to understand how that looked. Like as a fan of hers, I'm like, bro, what are you trying to say? She was, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just stuff like that, dudes. Yeah, and since I do talk a lot, I enjoy commentary, so I pay a lot of attention. Like I follow commentators on YouTube. You know what I mean? Excuse me, on Instagram, like Christy Winter Scott, Sloan Martin, Megan McEwen. You know what I mean? Like, do I follow Rebecca Lobo? Rebecca Lobo is one of my favorite. One of the ones I prefer. Like, I really like. But like, I follow commentators, so I pay a lot of attention to the commentary because I'll be trying to pick up tips on like speaking. You know, and so sometimes they'll have the WNBA and like the NCAA typically has a lot of women commentating or men who commentate a lot of women's sports. But every now and then there'll be a game on like, I don't know, Fox Sports. And they'll have a dude commentate who usually commentates the NBA, and you could tell the difference. You can tell the difference. Yeah. I'll be like, get this guy. I get mad. I'll be like, and I shouldn't, but I'll be like, get this guy out of here. Yeah, we're the cheap neighborhoods, but that aren't the hood. That's what we're talking about. Something I'm still trying to figure out in life on my current journey. Where to find community. That's high on my list. Is like how to find community. Where to find it. 750 for a one bedroom. Where you at, Dion? Is it a nice one bedroom? Oh, you had a barber in the at Canyon from Gainesville? I never had a good barber when I was seasonal job. Mm-mm. Oh, this is a long question. Oh, my response to that, Phoenix Rose Aurora. I mean, are you willing to put up with that, and maybe he can learn? Are you willing to help him learn some of those things he doesn't know, or do you think he could learn them? Sober Eagle. I'm excited to see what Caitlin does when she gets to the W. We'll see. She's just so famous that like every single player in the W is gonna go put their best foot forward to shut her to shut her down. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Silver Lumberjack. Yeah, I've been to Arizona many times. Flagstaff, Phoenix, Tucson. Yeah, I actually go to Arizona, Grand Canyon. I've been to Arizona a few times. 2004 Toyota Highlander, 338,000 miles. I don't know. I'd probably have to like look at it. Does it run good? Does it run good? Lil, like, I'm not saying we shouldn't discuss those topics. I'm just saying it's just interesting to me how many people ask me whether I'm doing it. That's all I'm saying. You can discuss the topic, but like, I'm just saying I would never ask another grown man are you practicing semen retention? Now, if someone say, "Hey, what are your thoughts on that?" That's a different question. I'm just saying, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's the wrong topic. I'm just saying, like, I think we should talk about porn addiction more. I totally agree with you on that. There's a diff. I don't agree with that. No fap is basically abstaining from porn. They're those are two totally different things. Um, but I do think we should talk more about porn addiction. I agree. You know, I'm gonna say I don't think it's a red flag if a 40-year-old man hasn't had any long-term relationships because I've only had one. So I'm gonna be like, no, that's a green. I'm joking. I don't like. It could be. I think it depends on the person. Like it could be. Look, why hasn't he had relationships? Is the question. Um, so it could be a red flag depending on the answer to that question. But did you see it as a red flag before you started dating him? I mean, he must have something going on that made you start dating him. Caitlin Clark is definitely going to sell tickets. Yes, she's definitely going to sell tickets. We got some good combos going here. Zick, I speak. Caitlin Clark, I think is a little different because like she's hyper competitive. So if Caitlin Clark remains as famous as she is, she's always going to make money. Like her endorsements are going to bring her more than the W's going to pay her. So wherever Caitlin's at, like she already got a deal with State Farm, she's going to make money wherever she goes. So she's hyper competitive. She's going to want to play in the W just to play with the best and be one of the best. So I don't think she's going to burn out because like it ain't about the money. And I think for most women in the W, it's not about the money. You know what I mean? Like you can go overseas and play and make more money in some cases or comparable money, but they stay, yeah, I don't think it ain't about the money with her. She good now. Do I think Angel Reese is going to dominate? I don't know. I don't know. I think about I don't know. I don't have a favorite WNBA player. There's so many. Like Sophie Cunningham was probably one of the first ones I really liked. I'm a big Skylar Diggins Smith fan. There's so many. Like I can't. Stephanie Dolson, Maureen Johannes, Alana Smith. She's coming back. Well, she was here last season too. There's so many. I could literally name like 50 women. Like yeah. I'll say this, Caitlin. If someone doesn't have the experience, the only way for them to get the experience is to get in another relationship. You know what I mean? So like it could be a red flag, but it could just be it hasn't happened. And that's why I said, are you willing to work with him? And maybe once y'all are together for a while, he learns. Oh, you know what I mean? Because like, is that fair to him if nobody ever stays in a relationship with him because he doesn't have the experience? He's trying to get the experience. You know what I mean? Like some stuff we don't know until we learn it, but it takes someone teaching us if we're willing to be taught. Now he might not be willing to be taught. Like I said, there could be a reason. I don't know, but like the only way he's going to get the experience is if someone like helps him get the experience. Which I can see you said that's stressful. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Chris has the great answer. If it's a red flag to you, it's a red flag to you. That's the answer right there. If you looking at that and you like red flag, if you like red flag, then it's a red flag. Ain't no way around it. That's perfect answer, Chris. Yeah, Skylar Diggins Smith. I actually she was the first W game I watched was Phoenix Mercury because I saw the thumbnail on YouTube. I've been watching some other sports and YouTube recommended that, and I was like, click. And then I was like, man, I like. And then Sophie Cunningham's on the team, and I was like, yeah, that girl can shoot. Like, I was like, man, I kind of like this. Tired 219, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, respect you sharing that, John. Respect, respect. Drake was crazy about Skylar. I didn't know that. They probably did. See, Skylar. I'm surprised she doesn't have more endorsements. I think she's a little crazy. Respectfully. I think she's a little, you know. I mean, just look at how long it took her to find a team. She's coming back this year. I think it took longer than it should have taken someone with her skill level to find a team. So I don't know. Just from what I don't know. She strikes me as a little difficult, maybe. We're not going there. We're not going there. Respectfully, we're not taking it there. We're gonna keep it PG 13-ish. We're not going R. Yeah, Skylar's married with 2 kids. 2 kids now? Yeah, you never yeah, yeah. Yeah, Skylar Diggins Smith is but yeah, there's so many players I appreciate in the W. Like, yeah, man. It starts back what May 16th? May 16th. We back. Yeah, she got 2 kids. She gonna be with Seattle this year, so I'm excited. Yeah, man. I'm excited to see. But yeah, it did seem like it took way too long for her to find a team. I'm like, they should have been beating her door down. It's like sign. Make sure I miss nobody's comments or hear what we're doing. F Doctor, back in the day, I used to watch like baseball. Me and my dad watched when I was young. Me and my dad watched a lot of baseball, especially the postseason because we didn't have a TV until October. My dad would rent a TV in the postseason. So then I watched some basketball, like when Shaq was playing, um, and then I just kind of fell out of watching sports until I started watching women's sports. Mecca, oh, you've been hanging back, lurking. Okay, okay, do a little editing. Been lurking. I will say this, Caitlin, like if you and once again, taken from someone who has very little relationship experience, but like if it's got you that stressed out, you know, is it something you want to continue to be stressed out about? I think is a good question. James, I just started watching the WNBA and then I was like, yeah, let me find some other women's sports. And honestly, I just don't. care to watch men play sports. I don't know. I just enjoy watching women play sports, like, which is not surprising. I have more female friends than male friends. So like, I don't know. I think I just dig women stuff more than men stuff. Like, I'm a man, so like, why do I care about other men? You know, you know, unless I was, unless that was my gender of choice for attraction, and it's not. So like, you know, Praveen, I got the WNBA league pass, so I watch it on my computer. So I don't know what leagues I don't know what television stations the game's on. Which a lot of people upload them to YouTube too. So you can usually watch a few of them on YouTube, a lot of them on YouTube. Glow Women's Wrestling. Okay, that sounds interesting. Um, that sounds interesting. I don't know what that means. I have to look that up. Glow Wrestling. Okay. Scott Fox, see you later. Appreciate you being here. The WRC, what's that? The most mental sport ever. Ooh, what is that? WRC. I don't know what that. What is it? What is that? Random. Charlie said, I want to move out of my parents' house, but I'm scared of being lonely. That's a valid concern. That's a valid concern. Um, I would say this though, like, the only way you'll ever figure out how to not be lonely living alone is to just bite the bullet and live alone. And then you'll have to figure out how to overcome the loneliness. And I mean, even if it means like, okay, I'll move down the road from my parents so I can still go over there and hang out with them if I get bored. You know what I mean? Like, but if you really want to move out, I would say go for it and then figure it out because eventually you're going to have to figure it out unless you stay with your parents until you get in a relationship or something like that. But other than that, you're going to have to figure it out one day. So, and I'm big on not making decisions based out of fear. So if there's something you identify you want to do, but fear tells you to do something else, I typically try to do what I want, the thing I want to do. That works out better. Because if you just stay at your parents out of fear of not wanting to be alone, it's going to bother you. You're always going to any the slightest thing. Man, I wish I'd moved out. Blah, blah, you know what I mean? But if you just go ahead and move out, then it's like, okay, I just got to figure out how to not be lonely. Problem solved. Whereas if you stay at the parents, you're always going to have that I want to move out going. If that makes any sense. Angela's back. Oh, World Rally Championship. Oh, people racing cars on really sketch closed roads. Oh, okay. Gorgeous ladies of wrestling. I learned two things, two acronyms right now. Oh, nice. Hey, glad you can get some help here, Phoenix Reservoir. And then again, you might move out and not be lonely at all. You might be like, this is what I've been needing. Oh, I got my own space. Yes. Yes. What's that? No mom? No dad? You know, you might move out and love it. Oh, where we at? I'm just curious. Your new man's not with you at the new city? I'm just curious. I'm all in your business, Phoenix. I know, but you said you moved to a new city, super lonely. But your man isn't there with you, like that we were just talking about. The 40-year-old, he and Austin. Like, I'm just being nosy. You don't have to answer. You don't want to. Yeah, one of my goals is to find in real life community. Um, that's one of the things I've identified. This is something I want. This is something I'm going to work towards. It might take 6 months. It might take 6 years, but we're going to find that. Find a place where that feels like home, home base, and there's like a community. When I've had that before, I did very well in life, and we good now. But I've identified that's something I want. So we're going to figure that out. Oh, he lives an hour away. Okay, makes sense. Got you. Got you. Meow. Just got off work. We here. Uh, I don't know. Some Praveen, some stuff I'm good at remembering. Other stuff I'd be like, what was that? What was that? You know? Random. I'm sure I'll still travel once I find the base. I'm sure I'll still travel. I mean, I like to travel, so yeah, sure. So like, I don't see myself ever not traveling, but it'll be nice when I'm home to like have friends and people to hang out with, which I don't have now. So I've identified that that's something I'm going to change because I know I'll get more out of life when I have friends to hang out with, which I don't have. And even though I have the ability to kind of go where I want, you know, that doesn't always mean I can just. A lot of my friends move around too, or they're just, so it's we're gonna figure it out. Oh well, that's yeah, that's the red flag right there. We all up in your relationship. I'm sorry. You should, that's the red flag there. No, you asked him to help you move. He said no after you helped him with his house, bro. Like that's you should have brought that up first. That's the situation right there. I help you do all this stuff. I need a little help. You say no. Okay, all right, okay. That would have been a okay, all right moment. All right. Cashmere. I'm not in San Diego. No. Random. Yeah, man. That'll be the best of both worlds. And I appreciate you saying that. We definitely gonna find it. I mean, the universe is infinite. The universe is abundant, and I got you know divine power as we all do helping me out. So like it's just a matter of putting in the legwork to find it. So, but yeah, we gonna figure that out. Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, I definitely believe we live in hustle culture in America. Totally, totally, totally. Yeah, America is all about hustle. Like, you know, that's our solution to everything. It's just like hustle more. Sometimes that's the solution, but not to everything. Not to everything. And we can't use that as an excuse to not fix problems. Hey, they're not paying people a livable wage. Hustle more. Like, you know, Fisk, Fisky Boo. Definitely not the southeast, but anywhere where there's mountains and lakes and rivers and stuff, there's got to be nature. There's got to be the nature I appreciate. That's a big part of it. Community and nature. So I don't have a specific place, but I'll know when I'm there. But I don't think it'll be in the southeast. That I'm pretty sure because I'm from there. Mo, I've had some people in my life who I wouldn't say they wanted me to hit them up, but like I was always the one calling them or whatever. And then like even here recently, I decided without malice or without judgment that say like on Instagram, I'm unfriending a lot of people who we just don't talk regularly, or people that it's I'm always reaching out to them. Like I'm trying to do a better job of a few people that and continue to do a decent job of reaching out to my friends regularly. And there's a few people that I've identified I need to call more, who I really appreciate, mean a lot to me. I love, but I've decided that anybody else, like I said, not with any malice or any ill will towards them, but they're just some people that I identified I would always, every so often, reach out, call, whatever. That I'm gonna wait and see if they call me, and if they don't, that's fine. If they do, I'd love to talk to them. But I've just, before I was like, oh yeah, that's just my thing. That's what I do. And I'm like, you know what? In 3 years, you've never called me. Okay, like I just identified. I'm gonna rock with the people who rock with me. Well, I still love, still love, but it's just yeah. I'm gonna be more intentional about stuff like that. Young Don, how's it going? It might be the Midwest, F Doctor. It might be. It might be. I'm gonna be mad at that. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the Southeast though. Respectfully, you know. Hey, no problem, Caitlin. No problem. Appreciate you coming through and giving us some good conversation topics. That girl checking in. I literally just was said in my mind. I'm like, where's that girl at? What's she doing? She ain't spending no time with us. Finally. I'm good. I'm good. Blessed. Blessed. I didn't block you. If I blocked you, you wouldn't be in the chat unless you came through with another account. I mean, I don't remember. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. But I didn't think I blocked anybody. I timed somebody out, I thought. But if I blocked, it was something. Dagger, you not doing nothing? Come on. Come on. Well, you doing something now. We here. Sonic Brown, 27 checking in. Zeropa, 84. We here. Luke Kang about to hit the sauna. Okay. Get rid of this cloudy head from bad sleep. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Let me know if that works. Fisky, I think my home base will be in the US. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I just don't have a desire to thus far to live out the country. Like, even if it was like, okay, honestly, I probably would travel overseas more this time if I got a home base, maybe. But yeah, like I like being in America. Like I don't, I don't know why I would want to live somewhere else other than the prices here. That would be if I ever moved out the country, it'd be like it's just too expensive. But if I could find somewhere nice that's affordable, like oh, hello, Sonic Brown, just come through, say hello. I feel you. Thank you. Oh, you like the monochrome? Oh yeah, it's a nice little Airbnb with a nice little situation. The bugs in Alaska were actually pretty serious. That was one of the cons of a summer in Alaska, especially like August. Yeah, the bugs. Like if you stayed off the grass, you were okay. But yeah, actually, no, that's not entirely true. There were times when the bugs got really bad. Like, yeah, like the people would be getting off the tour buses and they were just like, "What?" In the grass, they were worse. But yeah, there were times the bugs got where I was at, on the Kenai Peninsula. There were times the bugs were not all summer, but like around August. Yeah, the bugs were pretty intense. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, you can still get out and do what you had to do, but yeah, yeah, I did really like Bozeman. Fisk. It's just too expensive, and it's 6 months of winter. So Wyoming, I would love to. I've never spent too much time in Wyoming. I'd love to go to Wyoming, try it out. I've seen some cool. I mean, I've driven through Wyoming many times, but never really stayed there. But I've seen some cool spots in Wyoming driving through. The cold weather kills mosquitoes, but they them bugs come back in the summer. They come back in the summer. I don't know if they were mosquitoes. I forget what kind of. They looked like mosquitoes, but I don't think they bit. You know what I mean? Like they were these little bitty mosquito type bugs. But and there were some mosquitoes too. But like I don't even know what bugs they were. But they be like I used to mow the grass because I was the head housekeeper. But it's a small side of the road motels restaurant, so everybody does everything except I refuse to work in the kitchen and stuff. But like anything outside or whatever, I'd help. So I'd mow the grass, and like they would be so bad coming out the grass, you would have to wear like a head covering, like look like a mosquito net. One of the mosquito net hats, you'd have to wear that or like put like goggles on, and like you literally had to cover your head up to mow the grass because like they would be just coming up out of the grass all over. It was crazy, but that was only for like a month or so. But yeah, it was a beautiful, amazing experience. But the bugs were something I wasn't used to. Somebody told me the other day that my live streams were too long, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a long one just for that." Someone was like, "Love the channel," and I was like, "Thanks." He said, "But the 3 hour live streams are too long. I don't have 3 hours to watch your videos." And I was like, I actually didn't respond at all. But and I appreciate that people don't have 3 hours to watch a live stream. And I understand them be like, hey, if you just did regular videos, I'd like it a lot better. I just didn't like the manner in which it was presented. It's like, I don't have 3 hours to watch your videos. I don't have enough time to watch all the softball I want to watch, but but I don't complain to ESPN about it. No, okay. But yeah, it's the manner in which people say it that gets me. You know, isn't Bozeman where the guy lives in a cave? I don't think so. My YouTube header, did I make that for myself? No, I think I paid someone, the yellow and green. I think I paid somebody on Fiverr to do that. Yeah. Praveen just had dinner and dessert. Okay. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta go. Mm, yeah, I gotta go to the store. I gotta get Din Din. I should use the video intro again. I might put it at the end of some videos. In the beginning, I think it's kind of nobody likes intros and videos. I'm generalizing, but it just wasted too much time in the beginning of the video. If you my videos, you'll notice I always get right to the point. And a lot of people are like, "Hey, we like the fact you got right to the point." Especially these days, we're used to like, and so many people. I do this a lot. I watch videos on my phone in the feed. I don't even click on them. Like I'll just have you can on your phone you can scroll, and if you stop on a video thumbnail, it'll autoplay, and like the closed caption will come up. I do that a lot. And if I'm looking at a video and there's like 5 seconds of intro, I just go to the next one because I'm like, I ain't got time. Get to the point. So I don't want to put anything in the beginning of my videos that like make get people to move on. Like I want to get right to the point in the beginning. I might start putting it at the end though. California was, you know, LA. I've been a couple times. I didn't like either time. San Francisco was cool, but I realized I was staying in a very nice area. But San Diego was cool. Once again, I was in a nice area, but the homeless situation is there. Um, it didn't seem just the stuff I was buying didn't seem that much more expensive. But I would imagine housing probably and stuff is. And once again, I was staying in nice areas, so I didn't see the crime too much. But you definitely saw that the homelessness was there. What am I having for dinner? I don't know. Maybe chicken, some type of chicken. I'm sure. Ted, I got it on Fiverr, Fiverr. It's basically a marketplace where people will design all kind of stuff for you. So you can just go on there and say, I used to have a person on there who did a bunch of my thumbnails. But now I got Canva, so I do it myself. But I could do the header myself too in Canva. But it's easier to just go on Fiverr, which it used to be $5. Now it's any price. But that header might have been $15 or something. But yeah, you just go in there and there's people who do all kinds of YouTube stuff, just yeah, all kinds of graphic design and voiceover. And I mean, you can get people to design T-shirts for you on there, and then you just go to a print on demand website and upload the design to a T-shirt and sell it for $20. Yeah, super. Yeah. Or you can design your own T-shirt, but yeah, Fiverr. Do I ever wear headphones? Sometimes if I'm if I'm somewhere and I know the walls are thin, I might wear headphones. Or if I'm sometimes when I'm walking, I wear headphones. Hey, thank you, Phoenix Rose. So I'm grateful for this channel, Tim. It's one of the best channels I sub to. Yes, yes, that's awesome. Thank you. Glad to hear that. Lou, I'm not working currently. No, no. I applied at some winter for some, excuse me, some summer jobs. So I'm just waiting. One, the interview went well, so I'm just waiting to hear back from them. Actually, it was one of those really chill, just kind of talk interviews. So I'm not really sure what the next step is because they didn't say I had the job then, but they didn't say what they were waiting on. They were like, "Oh, we'll be in touch." So I'm like, "But you know what I mean?" It was just kind of weird. I'm like, "Wait, so do I have the job?" And they're just gonna call me later and be like, "All right, this is when you need to show up, whatever," or like, are they interviewing a bunch of other people? I don't know. So I'll give them a couple weeks and I'll email them and be like, because they're like, "Yeah, if you have any questions, email us." Like, so I'm like, "Okay, I'm still on the run." Like, I don't know, but yeah, I'm not currently working right now, except on the internet. Hey, it's Bellum. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much. Said appreciate the daily streams this week. Yes, kept me awake the last 2 hours of the workday. With all the monthly subscription we pay for, makes more than sense to support the good sense inspiration you bring. Let's go. Good sense inspiration. That GSI. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Yeah, I like doing pretty regular streams, and as long as there's people saying they like them, and it's working out, people showing love, hey, let's do it. I'm just try to have more topics to make it interesting. And like the other stream, we watch some of my old videos. I do want to start incorporating more stuff into the streams. So yeah, yeah. Random said your channel really is a breath of fresh air amongst all the drama of the internet. Yes, yes, thank you. Oh man, I'm getting the big head over here. All these positive comments. Let's go. Who's next? No, thank y'all, and thank you. It's Spelling again. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. F Doctor. It was actually in Alaska. The job was in Alaska. So yeah, I said the two states I was looking at, Alaska and Maine. So yeah, it was in Alaska. GSI squad. Am I gonna stream tomorrow? Probably. Probably. It'll probably be during the day tomorrow, but we'll see. What's today? Sunday. Oh, I think I need to do laundry tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. It's toxic positivity. That's what I'm saying. People, man, you're not worried about toxic positivity. I'm like, we talk. I mean, we talk about. One of my streams is doing best is the one about is work worth it anymore. We kept it overall positive, but like we talked about realistic negative stuff in the workplace. It's not like we don't talk about the truth. We just stay positive. But sometimes we get down in the gutter, talk about what we got talking about. You know what I mean? But like, toxic positivity. I would love to go to Acadia National Park. That would be amazing. Or Denali in Alaska. I agree, Ted. Yeah, AI is going to change the graphics industry and many other industries, and we'll adapt. Though we'll adapt. Hey, so yeah, got laid off in June last year after 8 years of intensive labor. Been taking a break ever since. Greatest break of my life. Yes, that's the way to handle it. Hey, y'all gonna give me a break? Okay, okay. I'm gonna take it. I'm good. I'm chilling. Glad to hear that. Because some people be all down and nah, I'm just taking a break. Good to hear that, Lou. Deal with so many negative people, but you keep it positive anyway, regardless. Produce. Would I ever buy or own something? I mean, I own stuff now, just not a lot. So yeah. Chris said it's not worth it. James, new subscriber. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. I'll finish. You taking a break from IG? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You had some very interesting content on there, though. Give you that, but I don't blame you. I was like this close to the deleting my IG the other day too. I was like, I'll never, you know, I don't do anything on there that's I can't take a break from and come back to. But I was like, well, I just don't have to get on here. But I get it. I get it. Uninstall Facebook too. Oh, I see you. Vegan pajamas. You like dairy free Ben and Jerry's? I'm sure it's amazing. I'm sure it's amazing. Yeah, yeah. I'll let y'all know. If we or I'll just end up in it. No, I'll let y'all know. That, like I said, if I'm doing something like that, I'll definitely because there's a reasoning behind that. If I go to Alaska for a seasonal job, obviously I want to show y'all because I think seasonal work's a great opportunity. So there's a reason behind that. The random cities I just show up in, there's not really. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'll let you know about that. Y'all hear a beeping noise? You still hear it now? Produce. I'm on TikTok, but I don't upload. Just like I don't upload on IG. I don't really. Every now and then I upload on TikTok. The energy's weird on TikTok. Like I don't know. Was there a beeping? I don't. Maybe there was a beeping. Is if it's gone now? I don't. Impressed by the high tech. Yeah, we figure out how to do all kind of stuff. Um, hey, moments. What would I say is the key to keeping a balance between having idealistic views and creating a reality and accepting what the reality of the world? I think the realities of the world you have to deal with. And what I mean by that is the realities of the world are going to smack you upside the face, and you're going to have to deal with them. So I'm big on focusing on creating your own reality. Go all in on that. And then, like, the realities of the real world, you're not going to be able to get away from because they're the realities. So the things that stick around, okay, those are the realities of the real world I have to deal with. But beyond that, I'm gonna be the Lulu. You know what I mean? I'm going after me. I'm creating my reality because I think far too often we start out with, oh, these are the realities of the real world, and within that framework, maybe I can do some other stuff. But I think when you're just like, nah, but this is what I'm trying to do. Seems crazy. I'm doing it. Then you get a lot further because then, like I said, the things that are real, you'll know because it's gonna stay even when you don't. The realities of the real world come around even when you're in your own reality. You can't avoid them. You know. So for me, I just try to focus on me and my reality and living the life I want. And then there's some stuff I'm like, well, obviously this I have to deal with. But yeah, I think it. I think you naturally get the balance if you start out on your end of it. But if you start on the other end, I think it's so unbalanced, it's hard to find balance. But if you start from, okay, I'm doing my thing, I'm going to see how far I can push this. That's another way to think about it. Let me see how far I can push this. Let me see just how crazy I can get with my own reality. Because, life's going, the real stuff in the world's going to reel you in. But like, just say, let me see how far I can go. And sometimes you'll find, like, man, I'm out here. I'm really doing this. So much of this stuff I believe was real isn't real. You know, there's pain, there's suffering, but the things that hold us back the most, honestly, are like fear and these beliefs we have that were programmed into us that aren't real. Those are the things that hold us back the most. Fear and just fake beliefs. A lot of the other stuff, some of the pain, the suffering, it sucks, but we're used to that. We just keep on trucking with that. But the ideal that people plant that, oh, you can't do that, that'll hold us back more than actual pain will, which is crazy. Todd, you should go to Alaska. It's a nice state. I mean, which, like I said, Miaska or Ain, Alaska or Maine, the two. I've been to Alaska before, um, 3 times. One to work and twice to visit a friend of mine. So as beautiful as it is, I'd love to go back. But Maine, I've never been. So the two are kind of even in my book. So last, I signed a lease from April 2022 to April 2023. Yeah, and yeah, I wasn't thrilled about it near the end. That girl, that's something I'll admit I deal with too. Um, you know, like I'm with you, same. I'll have moments where the self esteem and self worth is where I feel it should be, and then something might happen, and it's like, man, I got to start all over. One thing I do, I pray about it, not pretty regular. It's like help me to have that balance between self confidence and like, not ego. Um, what is it? What is it? Man, how did I forget? What did I say? Maybe it is between ego and like self-confidence. So it's like I want to be as confident as I can be, but I don't want it to turn into like ego and narcissism and stuff like that. um that's one thing I do is I pray. I pray about it, and that brings it to the forefront. um I do a lot of faking it till you're making it. Sometimes I'm not feeling all that confident, but I'm like, Tim, walk with your head up, shoulders back, look people in the eye, say hello. Like, you're him, just like everybody is. We all should feel like we're that person because we all are. It's just a matter of feeling like that. And I realize that like sometimes I'm not going to feel like that. And the best way to get feeling back like that is to pretend sometimes. And I do think that the more you take on in life and the more you tackle and figure out successfully, I think the better it is for your self esteem as you realize, oh, I can do more stuff. Hey, thanks, Andrew. Praveen, I think I'm have some chicken based for dinner, probably. I don't know. Trying to decide. What up, Jazz? You are definitely worthy of love. Always will be. Like Ted said, definitely, definitely. We all are. That is, if you think about that, and as someone who struggles with that, it's like the most illogical thing. Like, what could we ever do to not be worthy of love? Especially when we're good people. But some days it hits you that way. You're like, man, no one's ever gonna love me. Nobody's ever gonna. But it's like it's not true. And I tell myself that a lot too. It's like, Tim, it's not true. You're just feeling this way today, but it's not true. There's people who love you, you know. So obviously you're worthy of love. And I do that. I flip it sometimes. I think about the people I love and the people who mean the most to me. And I'm just like, think about how you feel about them. They feel that way about you. So like, obviously you can't be that ogreish or screwed up or whatever I'm thinking I am that day. Because that same feeling you have for people, they have for you, you know? Wounded tone. That's what I say. That's what I say. Help me to have the balance of like self confidence and humility. That's what I say. Thank you. Humility, the opposite of ego. Um, Help me to have the balance of self confidence and humility. I don't want to think more of myself, but I don't want to think less of myself. Yeah, we praying hard tonight. Let's go. 436. I don't. I will say that I recommend the YMCA of the Rockies. That's probably the only place I recommend for different reasons. Um, yeah, that's a good point too. Essence, remembering the maker of the universe loves us. If God is for us, who can be against us? What I think about dating a coworker? I mean, if you're willing to take what comes with it. I've dated coworkers before, or had situationships with coworkers before. Um, it's cool, but like, there's a lot that comes with it. So it's like, are you willing to take what comes with it? Everybody at work in your business, people at work who wasn't even checking for that person, they see you with them now, they trying to holler, all that little stuff. And then the fact that like if it goes south, goes sideways, you got to see this person every day. That's a big part of it. So I think it's cool, but are you willing to accept what comes with it? Which is the key to most things in life. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna have to go down and get something to eat before it gets dark. So yeah, I'm gonna jump in. We've gone a couple of 2.5 hours. That's good stream, good stream. This week we're gonna do a long one. Just because that girl said that. This week we're gonna not joking. We're gonna do a long one. But I think this is a good one. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Big shout out to everybody who came through, all the new people, the lurkers, the usual suspects. Huge shout out to the Super Chat Squad. Thank y'all. I appreciate that so much. The support. Thank y'all so much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Hope you have a wonderful week. You'll see me again soon. I love each and every one of y'all. Talk to y'all soon.